Margi Blash for Hollywood.com. Now, you might know Justin Timberlake from his successful music career, or maybe even his guest starring spots on SNL. But now, Justin can add movie star to the list, because he joins the cast of Alpha Dog. And let's just say this role is a far cry from his start in the Mickey Mouse Club.
I don't know how I feel about that. You know, I felt like I had two kick-ass performances on SNL and everybody singing Dick in a Box to me. I don't know how I feel about that.
I'll go see any Justin Timberlake movie. I'll pay my $9. I've said this many times before. I was not expecting it.
I think we all really feel great about the work he did in the movie and believe that he has a lot of good acting to come.
No one wanted to look good or be likable or be hot. Everyone was losing, the guys were losing so much weight, turning into these scrawny, very kind of pale and unattractive people. Really hard for Justin to look unattractive. I don't think he succeeded at all. He succeeded everything else except looking unattractive.
He's incredible. I mean, he's a performer. The guy's like a true performer. He has everything in him that like speaks of, you know, exuding performance. So he's completely comfortable and completely confident and one of the nicest, best guys I've ever worked with.
He's funny. He's really relaxed on set. He's really a supportive actor, and yeah, he just couldn't be better.
Justin's like a really great, like down-to-earth guy, you know? The really hardworking, really cared about being on set, and I really enjoyed being on set with him. Now I'm just a Justin Timberlake hardcore fan.
I think if you're trying anything new, I think it just, you know, you have to have a couple of things. You have to have the right intent. Hey, all right. You have to have the right intention, and you have to have a good ethic. I mean, if you put those two things into it, I think you can accept the outcome. The basic parts about these kids that gets them into trouble, you know, every kid will confront at some point growing up. Whether they encounter the exact same situation, it doesn't matter. It's just the same pressures, the same choices that people have to make.
Any teenagers who see this film will say, I know those guys. They may not be my friends, but I know those guys. And they're not gangsters, and they're not criminals. They're kids with a lot of time on their hands, whose parents aren't really involved.
These kids weren't bad kids. You know, they just let something bad happen.
The story takes place in a very safe suburban neighborhood, and yet this still happened. We have to question why that happens, and with things like Columbine and other stories like that, we're always struck with this belief that this can happen in safe suburban white neighborhoods.
If parents went to see it too, that there could be a lesson learned as far as, you know, talking to your kids and knowing what's going on and having a nice avenue for your children to be able to come to you and talk about what's going on.
It keeps people real, and it actually, instead of feeding themselves things and seeing things, listening to things that they always want to hear and that makes them feel good about themselves, and sort of fictitious problems that you think you have as a result of hormones, like this is actually something to think about.
It's interesting to see how these little decisions that people make like affect and grow to such an enormous like ordeal, like, and nobody realizes it.
The moral is that it could happen anywhere, and that these seem like, you know, reasonable kids, and they just make bad decisions, and you fall so in love with them that you have to decide whether you can love them after they do what they do.
Because I think you start to really like these kids in the film, and we liked these kids when we were playing them. So yeah, my heart goes out to everyone who was involved in what this was based on. You know, I feel like this is a film for teenagers if they're willing to watch it responsibly and not just take it like some glam gangster movie. If you're really to look what it's really about, I think it's good for kids to see, and I think that it's important that they see it with that in mind, you know?
I don't have a choice.
I'm not going to prison.
Frankie, what's going on?
There's a missing persons poster on every street corner. You come clean now, John. You come clean now.
I got it under control.
I would never rat you guys out. Yeah, we know that, man.